time for rejoicing, time to sing hallelujah because the Lord is risen. Yes, in today's reflection, we are going to talk about something small on Easter, or about Easter. Jesus dies, as we know, laid in the darkness of the tomb, and the whole world was silent. But now the light has risen, the darkness has been dispelled. As we remember, when we were beginning today's Mass, it was begun in silence. We did not have the entry song. We did not have a song in procession, not so. Everything was silent because that is the first part of the vigil, which we begin in darkness. But now, with the Gloria, the lights comes and the shouts of acclamation comes, and so the rejoicing begins. And we know we have been in the period where we were in pain, in agony with the blessed Lord, but now it is the time of rejoicing. That's why, as St. John Paul II says, we are Easter children, and Alleluia is our song. I would like to talk briefly about the Easter candle, which represents Jesus Christ himself. When we see the Easter candle, or when we observed during the time when we were beginning at the fireplace, as we see, the candle was lit, and the light represents Christ who shines in darkness. As I said, during the past few days, we were in darkness, in total silence. Now Christ comes as the new light, and even when we heard from the book of Genesis, God saw from the beginning that there was darkness, and he created light, the greater one to rule the day, and the dull one to rule the night. But now this is the greatest light which rules over all the lights that God had created, because this one was not created because he is God himself. Then we also saw the grain of incense, the red small balls we are seeing. Children, that's not a ball gum, it is incense, the grain of incense. This represents the 5 wounds or the marks of nail which our blessed Lord received, and one which was pierced at his ribs. Then we see the sign Alpha and Omega. The Alpha is this one we are seeing as letter A up here. Then Omega, the one which they wrote more or less resembling Q. That one is the Greek word which means that Christ is the beginning and Christ is the end. In other words, he is for eternity. He does not have beginning or end because he is outside time. It transcends time, and that's why he is the Alpha and Omega. And that's why even in our readings today, we had right from the beginning, the creation story, up to the time of his resurrection, the climax of the salvific mission of Christ. Then when we talk of the cross we are seeing in the middle, that cross represents Christ and his eternity, the life which he gives us. And as we remember on Good Friday, when he gave up his life for humanity, he gives us new life. We are receiving the new meaning of our life, the life which had sunk into sin. The cross or the salvation power of Christ brings it anew. And that's why most theologians have agreed at the side of Christ, when they pierced, water and blood flowed. And the blood represents the sacrament of Eucharist, then water, the sacrament of baptism, where we are born and in baptism and nourished with the Eucharist until we go to eternity. Then we are seeing that written the year there, 2025. It symbolizes the ever-presence of God. God is always with us throughout generation. So every year he is there, and he will continue to be there until the end of time. And even past that, because for him he is in eternity. Then the second thing I would like to talk about, the Alleluia. For the previous 40 days we were not singing Hallelujah. Why do we sing Hallelujah? If we heard keenly from the book of Exodus, when the children of Israel crossed the Red Sea, they sang the song of glory to the Lord. Therefore, for them, they were in the desert for 40 years. But for us, we have also been in the desert for 40 days, prayer and fasting. And we have been in this pain. Therefore, Christ coming up from the dead gives us that joy. And that's why we sing Hallelujah, because life has come back to us. We were in darkness, we were in pain, and we were in suffering. Then the last thing I would like to talk about is water, which will be blessed soon after this homily. That water is a symbol of life, and that's why we also use water in baptism. And when we are baptized with water, we die with Christ in our baptism, and so we shall rise with him. That's when we shall be with him in eternity after our earthly journey. And so, when we see the liturgy of today is a bit lengthy, not for nothing. It has got its own purpose, but we cannot explain each and everything now. Otherwise, even the morning mass shall find us here. Therefore, I would like to conclude from here, and I would like to encourage you as we continue to ponder on now the Easter mysteries, at least